What remains when everything disappears? Imagine this for a moment. You fall asleep tonight with the life you've built, and when you wake up, everything's gone. You have no money in the bank, no property, no social recognition. Everything you've accumulated, everything you thought defined you, has vanished overnight. What would remain? That is an uncomfortable question, and precisely because of that, very few people want to stop and reflect on it. Because the answer could be terrifying. We spend our lives building our identity based on what we have, what we accumulate, how others perceive us. But if one day all of that disappeared, would we still know who we are? Many would say that in such a scenario, only despair, anguish, anger, or fear would remain. But does it really have to be like that? The trap of having. From a young age, we are taught that security and happiness lie in what we possess. We are told that the more we have, the more protected we will be. And in a way, this seems logical. Money provides comfort. Property gives us stability. Social recognition gives us a sense of belonging. However, there is a fundamental problem with this way of thinking. If all our peace and happiness depend on external things that can be taken away, then we will never truly have peace. If our identity and sense of worth depend on success, the approval of others, status, or material goods, we live in a constant state of vulnerability. A setback, a crisis, a loss, and suddenly everything falls apart. Epictetus and true freedom. Epictetus, one of the greatest philosophers in history, was born into slavery. He had no possessions, no freedom, no recognition. By the world's standards, he was someone who had nothing. But it was precisely in that condition where he discovered what no one could take from him, his true freedom. For him, freedom was not found in what could be possessed, but in what one could be. We've been made to believe that security lies in accumulating more, but Epictetus warned us, anyone who stakes their life on what they can lose is doomed to eternal insecurity. The only way out is to build an inner fortress, something that cannot be knocked down by external circumstances. But what does this mean in practice? What you can control and what you cannot. For Epictetus, the key to achieving true freedom lies in understanding a fundamental distinction. There are things you can control, and there are things you cannot control. You can control your thoughts. You can control your actions. You can control your character, your attitude, your way of reacting to life. You cannot control destiny. You cannot control the opinion of others. You cannot control what happens around you. When we accept this reality, we become invulnerable. The one who understands this difference stops clinging to what they cannot govern and therefore remains steadfast even amid the worst storms. Yes, losing possessions or recognition can be painful, but the one who builds their identity on who they are rather than what they have will never truly be lost. Who are you really? Now stop for a moment and reflect. If someone asked you, "Who are you?" how would you respond? You'd probably say your name, your profession, mention your family, the place where you were born or where you live. But does that really answer who you are? Our identity, most of the time, is built upon what we do and possess. But we rarely stop to talk about what moves us, what defines us at our core. Why don't we answer with statements like these? I am someone who seeks justice. I am a person who values honesty. I am someone who believes in the power of knowledge and virtue. Why do we avoid talking about our purpose, the values we choose to cultivate? Because we've become accustomed to thinking of the self as something external. We identify with what we achieve, with what others see in us. But Epictetus teaches us that what we truly are is revealed in how we face life, in how we react to adversity, in what we choose to be when no one is watching. If you couldn't talk about your job, your appearance, or your possessions, would you still be able to say who you are? If you hesitate to answer, perhaps it's time to seek that answer, to observe your actions and reevaluate your choices. We become what we practice. If you want to know your true character, observe where you direct your attention each day. What motivates you to get up every morning? Is it the desire for power, the need for approval, the fear of losing what you have? Or are you seeking something deeper, something that doesn't depend on external circumstances? We become what we practice. If we want to be better people, we must practice virtue rather than wait for it to spontaneously arise. Practice gratitude, practice patience, practice resilience, accept what cannot be changed, and transform what is within our reach. Epictetus said that there is nothing more important than examining our own soul. But this examination cannot be passive. It requires daily effort. If we want to be whole, we must act with integrity. If we want to be wise, we must seek knowledge and apply it in real life. If we want to be free, we must liberate ourselves from the invisible chains of attachment, fear, and the need for validation. The real question, if you truly wish to be invincible, there is an even bigger question you must ask yourself. When I am no longer in this world, what will I have left behind? Because in the end, life is not measured by what we accumulate for ourselves, but by the impact we had on the lives of others. Will I have left a legacy of kindness, knowledge, and inspiration? Or will I have spent my life chasing things that, in the end, meant nothing? Epictetus reminds us that the only thing truly ours is the way we choose to live. And this choice happens every day. So the question that really matters is not what you have or what you want to achieve, but who you are and who you wish to become. When everything is gone, what will remain? If what's left isn't enough to sustain your peace, perhaps it's time to reevaluate where you're building your existence. Because whoever stakes their life on having, sooner or later, will find themselves with nothing. But whoever builds their fortress on being will never be knocked down. And you? Do you already have your answer? In life, we are constantly seeking a validation through what we possess and what others think of us. We cling to our achievements, our material possessions, and the social labels that give us a sense of security. But what happens when all of that disappears? When there's nothing left in the bank? When there's no social recognition? When we have none of what we've accumulated over the years? What remains then? The answer lies in what we've cultivated within ourselves. True strength is not in the things that can be seen or touched, but in what we carry in our soul. Material possessions, money, status, or success are fleeting. They can disappear in an instant, but what we have created inside of us, what we truly are, cannot be destroyed. What remains is our essence, the character we forged, the peace we've cultivated, the decisions we make in our daily life, the virtues we've practiced, and the love we've shared. It's easy to get lost in the pursuit of external things we believe provide us with security. But if we haven't built a solid internal fortress, no matter how much we have or have achieved, we will always be vulnerable. True strength is born from an identity that doesn't depend on what we own or what others think of us. It's the strength of being who we are in our essence, regardless of what happens around us. Ultimately, what truly remains is who we are. That is the only true strength that no one can take away. The peace that comes from self-acceptance, the ability to stay true to one's own values, and the courage to move forward no matter the difficulties. Recognition, money, and success may be fleeting, but the character we build, the lessons we learn, and the genuine relationships we cultivate are the only things that truly endure. So the next time you face uncertainty or the loss of something you valued, remember that not everything is lost. If you've worked on your inner self, if you've cultivated an identity based on virtue, love, and wisdom, then nothing or no one can destroy what you've built within. In the end, the only answer that truly matters is not what you have or what you've achieved, but who you are and what you've become over time. Because at the end of life, a person's worth is not measured by what they've accumulated in this world, but by the positive impact they've left on others' lives, by the love they've given, by the legacy of kindness, wisdom, and compassion they've left behind. The world won't remember what you owned, but it will remember how you made others feel and how you lived in alignment with your principles. The key question then is, what kind of legacy are you building? Are you truly living according to your values, or are you seeking external validation through what you possess? If you can answer honestly and deeply that you are building a legacy based on being rather than having, then you will have found the true strength that no one can take from you.